And the locations I'm talking about are fantastic.
Between 50 to 80,000 people that they're saying.
Exactly. Now that area is going to become the financial heart of not just Istanbul, of Turkey.
Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about where to invest in Istanbul, where to buy a home in Istanbul. Now, right off the bat, I want to say this, okay? Istanbul is a 20 million city, and there isn't really, the rightest place or the wrongest place. There are many right places and many wrong places.
There are many opportunities.
Yeah, there are many. Look, for example, if you buy the Bosphorus, you're never gonna go wrong because there's only one Bosphorus in the world.
But then again, the price is so high,
exactly,
so artificially high that you may not really see much gains. But
so these areas are the ones that we generally recommend. However, these are not the only areas in Istanbul that you can find property. Yes. Now let's divide this into two categories. Well, not two categories, two continents. Europe and Asia. And let's start with Europe, and let's start with the central Istanbul.
Okay.
Central Istanbul, Europe. Your number one place is?
Right now, I'd have to say it's Kağithane.
Kağithane?
Yeah, I'd have to say that.
Like, when you say Kağithane, you're talking about the Gendere Avenue.
I'm talking about the Gendere Avenue, kind of sandwich between Maslak and Levent on the one hand, neighboring Şişli. Yeah, that area, but not the pretty parts of Kağithane. Actually, the less pretty parts of Kağithane.
Like slum-like parts of Kağithane?
Within Kağithane, there are certain streets and certain districts, certain neighborhoods that are still, relatively speaking, not very pretty. They're still the transformation, the main force of transformation, urban regeneration, hasn't really gone through as yet.
Okay.
It's happening. The wave has begun, but it hasn't, so to speak, hit those shores as yet. Invest there.
Okay.
Invest there.
Kağithane, urban regeneration. Well, most of these areas that we're going to talk about are basically urban generations or newly developed areas.
They are. Most of them are urban regeneration.
Okay, so
areas,
what is your number two?
Still Bomonti.
Still Bomonti.
Still Bomonti.
But when we say Bomonti, we have to, I think, make a distinction here. There is a developed part of Bomonti, which is, the price of the apartments.
I mean, Bomonti is not necessarily a massive area anyway. Bomonti is take the tunnel, the circular road, Bomonti is in there. So it's actually, come off our office, go downstairs, walk 5 minutes, and you're in Bomonti.
Yeah.
So Bomonti is not a massive area, and over 50-60% of possible development has already taken place in Bomonti in the shape of very luxury high rises. Now, investment potential in those
not
is
very high.
Almost done.
Okay.
Almost done. You would have been in Istanbul, or you should have been in Istanbul 4 or 5 years ago for that.
In order to take
But in Bomonti, there are still a few new developments that are about to come.
Has not started yet.
They haven't started yet. And I know the land has already been agreed.
Yeah.
Planning permissions are already in place. So they're imminent. Watch out for those.
You're talking about the shanty homes that are right next to those high rises.
Those shanty homes are about to disappear.
Yeah.
And the locations I'm talking about are fantastic.
Of course.
So now they're the next on. They're the next on.
That location is by far my favorite location in Istanbul, because it is literally 3 minutes drive away from the Bosphorus. You take the car, take the tunnel, 3 minutes later, you're in the Bosphorus.
Bomonti
what more do you want?
Is an amazing location. I mean, as you know, I lived in Bomonti for 5 and a bit years.
Yeah, I live there.
I still have a few properties in Bomonti. And in the last 5 years, Bomonti, every corner you turn, there is something trendy, there's something hip, sort of nice restaurants, coffee houses,
Let's not
little
go into
stores.
details of Bomonti.
But that's what makes a place. Kind of the more artistic look, but the more trendy face that is shaping. So I still have my money on Bomonti, but the investment potential of those have kind of slipped away.
Okay. All right. Chop. Let's go on to the other location.
So we talked about Kağithane, again, my scribbles. Eyup.
Okay.
A bit of a longer haul because Eyup, again, a regeneration area.
Yeah.
But a massive municipality and thousands of key holders. So to negotiate urban regeneration with thousands of key holders, as you know, is not the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
So it's going to take its time, but Eyup in the long haul for investors looking at kind of 5+ years, 5 to 10 years, I think Eyup will deliver rather handsome gains. For Eyup, you can access for as little as $70,000, $80,000 today.
Yeah.
And imagine this is the center of Istanbul.
Yeah, $100,000 to $120,000
Very
can buy you a
neat price.
2-bedroom apartment.
Exactly.
Very good price in a very good location.
Exactly. So if you have the vision, the outlook for the next 10 years, get into Eyup today.
When you talk about Eyüp, you are now talking about Ali Beyköy area.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not talking about
the historic Eyüp,
the Black Sea
Eyüp.
coast of Eyup,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Eyup
Eyüp is a
stretches all the
massive
way up to the
municipality,
Black
yeah.
Sea.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the historic peninsula, the Golden Horn side of Eyup, which is shabby, which is old and tired.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why you get in there today, because it is being transformed.
How about Beyoğlu?
All right. Beyoğlu, I've been waiting for it to happen for the past 20 years. And I hoped that Beyoğlu would be amazing. But what I'm seeing in Beyoğlu today is a few rather highly priced developments,
Okay.
which I fail to see where those prices are going to go in the next 5 years, because they are already up there. Albeit as central as it gets. So I might be proven wrong there. Aside those, couple of developments that are good looking, well designed, I have to say, I haven't yet seen anyone coming into Beyoğlu and doing anything noticeable at the right price range. I think the reason for that, again, is certain historic title deed ownership of Beyoğlu.
I mean, look, the land in Beyoğlu is premium.
It is.
But again, for people who just don't want to take that risk, because all of these areas that you're talking about, although to you and to me, they look risk-free. But for a lot of people, when they go there, they're going to see those shabby homes and shanty homes, and they're going to say, okay, this is not even the heart of Istanbul. This is a 5-year projection, 7-year projection where Beyoğlu is Beyoğlu, and I'm never going to wrong in Beyoğlu.
I get that.
So I just want, rather than capital
that.
appreciation, I want to focus on the capital preservation.
I get
which,
that, 100%.
Yeah.
I get that.
So that might be an option right there.
No, I totally get that. And that's actually one of the biggest discussions I have with a few of our field guys, because they disagree with me on Beyoğlu.
Yeah.
And you know, they're very experienced, so
Yeah.
I don't restrict them, but let's see.
See,
what's
there are
gonna happen.
even within a company, there are different opinions
Of
on
course.
different subjects in different areas.
course.
These are Mr. Cameron Diggin's opinions, and you might stumble upon someone else from our company who might tell you otherwise, and they wouldn't be wrong.
Exactly.
Because
And there's
there is
nothing
no
wrong with that.
one-size-fits-all
Of course not.
approach
Of course not.
in our way of doing things. Here's another question. Aside from central Istanbul, in the European side, isn't there a viable investment location?
Do you know that 8 out of 10 agents that operate in the foreign investor market, let's call it, they do not focus on central Istanbul. They focus on the outskirts. They find it easier to sell the outskirts.
The Beylikdüzü and Esenyurt
Beylikdüzü, Esenyurt, Başakşehir, Bahçeşehir, all the way up to Silivri. Why? Well, cheaper prices.
Of course.
And projects that kind of on paper look more comprehensive, with the shopping malls, the shopping center within it, the facilities, like city within a city. My view of outskirts of Istanbul, and there are a few exceptions that I will talk about, is that I don't feel solid about it. I feel if I was to invest on the outskirts, I'd feel overexposed. Why? Because supply is higher than demand.
Yeah.
Supply is higher than demand. All you need to do to verify what I just said is get into the car and drive through Beylikdüzü and then swirl around to Esenyurt, etc. at night. And just drive through some of those massive complexes, and you'll notice that 70-80% of those units do not have any lights on.
True,
What
there is
does
an
that
oversupply
tell you?
there. There is an
So,
oversupply, of course.
I don't really see any significant capital growth in those areas. But if you look at Beylikdüzü, which has kind of become a bit of a city on its own almost, and the very center of Beylikdüzü, which is very well connected by commuter belt to central Istanbul, may be an exception. And also the Marmara Sea coast of Beylikdüzü, the Yakuplu, the West Marine area. Those areas, provided you get yourself a good deal today, I think they will reward investors also.
You say don't go to Beylikdüzü if you go. These are the places. I say it has its own appeal. I mean, a lot of people would like to live there because look. Let me tell you something else. There is a community there. There is a Middle Eastern Arabic-speaking community
Well, you see,
in Beylikdüzü.
that is what worries me. That is what worries me because my experience of the market in Istanbul is Turkish home buyers. Although historically, traditionally, Turks are rather cosmopolitan. Well, we had the Ottoman Empire.
True,
so, which stretched several continents. Still, despite that, today, the contemporary Turkish culture is such that they don't necessarily like to live in areas that are predominantly of one culture or predominantly non-Turkish. Now, again, I don't want anyone to misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's nothing untoward. But what I'm saying is, you'll find that if a particular area becomes, let's say, too English or too German or too Arabic, slowly you'll find that Turks will start exiting those areas.
I mean, this is the reality in the market. That's how it is. There's nothing you
Turks
can do
prefer
about it.
a good, harmonious mix of cultures.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, but this is not unique to Turkey. This is not unique to Istanbul. You go to London. I mean, if that one neighborhood has too many Pakistanis, you will see that the English will slowly start to depart from that
because
area.
people prefer a mix.
Yeah.
A nice balanced mix of cultures rather than a dominant kind of culture or a makeup or a demographic emerging in one area. When that happens, the others will pull out. And the thing is, well, this is Turkey, and your exit is going to be largely to a Turk.
Yeah.
So
think about these things.
Consider
these things. Okay, we spend too much time on the European side.
Let's talk about the Anatolian side.
Your number one place in the Asian
but
side.
Before
Let me guess.
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
Most of our buyers, investors, home buyers, foreign investors and home buyers, have what I could only term as a mental blockage against the Asian side of Istanbul. You can't get them to cross the bridge to the Asian side. oh, we want the European side. I don't get that mentality.
I do get it.
Whereas we have in our office in Istanbul at least half a dozen proper Istanbulites, right? Like
Yeah.
Eren, like Deniz. These are people who are second, third, fourth generation Istanbul dwellers, Istanbul people. Where do they live, all of them?
All live in the Asian side.
Why?
Because it is safer, calmer, more affordable,
Less
crime
polluted,
rates are lower, less
more elite.
polluted, more elite.
Yet, our foreign buyers have got a massive mental blockage toward the Asian side. The Anatolian side, or the Asian side, Anatolia is the
Heart of Turkey.
The Asian side of Turkey is known as Anatolia. So when we refer to the Anatolian side of Istanbul, we refer to the Asian side of Istanbul across the Bosphorus. Is not only as pretty, if not prettier than the European side, but is certainly more elegant than the European side. There are districts like Kadıköy, Fenerbahçe, Moda, Kalamış that are some of the most stunning parts of Istanbul, yet very, very little discovered, hardly discovered
by foreigners.
By foreign buyers.
Which I made a video about it, and I'm gonna provide the link down in the description below. You haven't seen the video.
I haven't
you have
yet,
to,
no.
you have to watch my video.
I will watch it now. If we look at very briefly summarizing sort of the Anatolian side, where would we buy? Well, the list is massive. However, look at the Istanbul Finance Center area, which is adjacent to Ateşehir. Definitely gonna go places over the next.
That area.
I love it. I invested in it over the next 5 years. Turkish Central Bank is moving there. The date has been announced already. 6 of Turkey's largest financial institutions are moving their headquarters, and majority of their admin workers there. Imagine the crowd.
Between 50 to 80,000 people that they're saying.
Exactly. Now that area is going to become the financial heart of not just Istanbul, of Turkey. So that area is going to go places. And still, it is affordable. So get in there. Now, Kartal. If you open the map and look at Kartal, it may seem like a fair distance from central Istanbul. Again, the misconception. People regard Taksim, Şişli as central Istanbul. Well, ask a Turk where central Istanbul is. That's not what they're going to say. Because Istanbul doesn't have a center. Istanbul has at least 3 distinct centers, one of which, and the most elegant of which, is Kadıköy. On the Anatolian Asian side. And from Kadıköy to Kartal is 20 minutes, 25 minutes. In fact, from Kartal, you jump into, what is it, the Marmaray?
Marmaray, the train that goes underneath the Bosphorus.
It goes underneath the Bosphorus, and you'll get yourself to Zeytinburnu and other central parts of European side of Istanbul in what, 30 minutes? In fact, from Kartal to the perceived center of Istanbul on the European side is a shorter distance than it is from Beylikdüzü.
True, and there is that.
To the center. And people yet still talk about distance.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. These are the areas that we recommend. Thank you very much, Mr. Cameron Deggin.
Thank you.
So you're free for another week. Okay.
Fantastic.
You can do,
I can do my
whatever you want. Okay. Dial in that WhatsApp number and send us a message, and also comment your questions down below. See you in the next video.
See you in the next video.
See you. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.